All right, well, it's recording now.
Okay. This is the beginning of the Willie Lynch slave letter. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome will envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sails south on the James River, named for our illustrious king whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highway in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings, slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the field too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am here to enumerate your numbers. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slave. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it would control the slaves for at least 300 years. That's how they wrote that too, 300 years.
It's been over 400 though, but go ahead.
My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Basically, just turning us against each other. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them on the top of my list. Age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owners. Whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I assure you that disrupt is stronger than trust, envy stronger than adulation, respect or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generation for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them, have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity.
Hey, go ahead and answer Charles right quick.
What's up, Big Daddy?
I'm gonna pause.
Okay. Gentlemen, you ready?
Go ahead.
Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them, have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, these slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Hey, the reason why I had that man, grown-ass man, y'all looked at my license plate, I apologize. The reason why I had that grown-ass man read that letter, that's the problem that we having, ladies and gentlemen. Dark skin versus light skin. Exactly.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not dumb, and you know, what I'm saying, I'm far from it. I got a little bit of intelligence, but as I was reading, I was noticing that this shit actually works.
Males against males, and females against females, blacks against blacks.
No, it's dark skin versus light skin.
I ain't putting you on TV now.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like the house slave versus the field slave. Like they basically put status on it to give them levels to make them feel weaker.
Yeah,
Like if there was no levels, there would have been no
it
status.
would have been on set. Yeah.
It just would have been a slave. You know what I'm saying? And that's fucking with me.
But hey, what I like is when you stopped and said that's what it was before you even finished reading.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
what you said it
Fight. I said, damn, they just putting us against each other. And then as I continued to read, it went straight to it. How they doing it, and they still doing it to this day.
To this day,
Literally.
that's the way that they pass it
Yeah.
because they probably knew that or read that before we did.
Yeah. Damn. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I see this shit in the plant. Like when I was in the plant, I see this shit every day. Like you'll have an old school that's a foreman, then you'll have a youngster tell it, you don't know what the fuck you do. You need to retire. Like I see this shit every day. I myself am guilty of it.
Yeah, be letting you because I'm a buddy.
Oh, I know more than you know. Instead of trying to teach you the knowledge I got, we can work together. That shit's crazy.
Let me pause y'all for a moment. The reason why I had these young men, and you know what I'm saying, you got one elder read this for y'all. That's the problem that we having today, Black America. You wonder why we got all these killing black on black crimes, and you wondering why the police is violating us big time. It's the system. And once we realize this, I mean, like, no, it's like that old G.I. Joe cartoon. Now you know, knowing is half the battle. If we can damn confront this situation head on, we'll know how we can turn it around. Y'all have fun.